What made you decide not to expand the scope of your micro-philanthropy efforts?
I think a lot of startups, whether it's a nonprofit or a business, they're immediately thinking, okay, how big can I get? I think that's kind of the instinct there. And so when I started Cause and Effect, I was really excited to really create a model that could be ramped up in time. And so as I started the process, as I started to raise money, and then I started to distribute the funds to these projects around the world, I got to the point where I realized that there was a problem, and that was that as I scaled up Cause and Effect, it would change the whole structure of what I had envisioned. I created this so that I would be able to be out in the field, personally overseeing all of these projects. I mean, what Cause and Effect is based on the fact that I'm able to see exactly how every dollar is spent, and that I'm not just simply sending it over to organizations that look like they have a good website, or someone goes and visits and says, oh, it's a good project, okay, here's a few $1,000s. That's not how it works. So what I realized is that for me to really scale this up, first of all, it would require a lot more time. I mean, as it is, I'm putting in a lot of my own time and money traveling, and I'm content with that. That's fine. But in order for me to do this really full time, to that extent, I would have to get some income. And so then you just kind of work backwards. Well, what's the minimum amount of income I would need to live my life and plan for a future, whatever. So, I mean, even if it was just, let's say, $50,000, from $50,000, if I'm going to raise $50,000, it's going to go towards me. We have to be sure that that's only maybe, 10% of what we're raising, So then you're looking at $500,000 that we'd have to bring in every year in order to justify a $50,000 salary for myself. And that's obviously quite a challenge these days. And also, in order to bring in $500,000 a year, you might have to hire someone to help you with your marketing or your fundraising. And then you've got another salary to deal with. So that's more money you need to bring in just to break even. And I felt like this was just setting up a lot of pressure for me personally. Whereas what I'm really good at, I mean, I wasn't born to be a CEO and to micromanage 4 or 5 people working for me. And if I wanted to do that, I probably would have set up a business or an NGO 15 years ago. What I'm good at is the interpersonal relationships in the field and assessing each of these projects and finding the best way to help them and finding out, how to be the most effective with this small amount of money. Now, obviously, it would be wonderful to be able to distribute more money, and hopefully down the road we will find a way to do that, to ramp up these contributions, and that there is still a way within this model to give a lot more money. I mean, each of these projects that I'm assisting with $1,000 or $2,000, I could easily add a zero to that. If some other donors come on board that really see the vision, share the vision. But I kind of realized that I needed to focus on the task at hand, which was making sure that every dollar distributed goes directly to the people in need, instead of worrying about how big of a structure I could create, and instead of getting my ego in it of like how big of an organization I could create.